Well, I'm joined by Zac Hussain in the studio now. He's the director of Muslim Aid, the only UK-based charity working in Rakhine State. Good to have you with us. So we now have a situation, as you know, where 500,000 Rohingya Muslims have fled into Bangladesh. And the UN chief, Antonio Guterres, has called this a humanitarian nightmare. You've seen the conditions they live in. Presumably you would agree with that. Correct.
I suppose when I was there a week ago, what I've noticed was the fact that people have absolutely nothing, and they have a lot of frustration, the devastation, the trauma, the psychological issues, the starvation, at its peak. Yeah, it was pretty bad. It's very bad.
So Bangladesh and Myanmar now say that they've set up this working group to repatriate hundreds of thousands of Rohingya so they can come back to Myanmar. But come back to what?
I would say a solution of something like this nature, it really needs to look at the refugees' interest at heart. It's great for people to go back home for anybody, but what is home? What's left of that home? So whatever the solution is, of course, from a humanitarian perspective, for us, it is about making sure the needs and the interest of the refugees are being met.
But this is one of the problems. Bangladesh doesn't want them. Myanmar doesn't want them. Other countries in the region, like India, don't want them. Where do the Rohingya belong?
I think from a humanitarian perspective for us, of course, wherever they want to be it Bangladesh, if they're allowed to, or in Myanmar, I think for us the biggest solution is to be able to provide them with what they need, the basic essentials, shelter, accommodation, food, medical assistance. So as a humanitarian, that is our main priority, and this is what we want to be able to assist.
But that's been a problem for aid groups, hasn't it? Trying to get aid to the people where they need it, particularly in Rakhine State. Has that been your group's experience?
Correct. It will vary from, I suppose, area to area. So within the Rakhine State, if you're looking at going to the northern part of Rakhine State into the likes of Mongdo that are going towards or fleeing over the Bangladeshi border, this is where it's perhaps slightly difficult, but anything sort of around the mid-northern part of Rakhine, it is quite difficult to get access, but at least we're able to provide some sort of support. But to go into Mongdo and beyond, it is very difficult, and I think it's been a no-go area for most of the NGOs overall.
So this would have to be something that changes. If all these people come back to Rakhine State, from a humanitarian point of view, they have to be looked after, right?
Correct. So from our end, as long as their need is being met, and it's got, whatever the solution is, their interest needs to be at the heart of that solution, the refugees' interest, because they need shelter, they need food, they need medical support, they need a whole host of different assistance. And what we want to see is their need being met.
In terms of the villages that they live in Rakhine State, do they have access to healthcare, to education? Because we heard Aung San Suu Kyi saying there are equal rights in Myanmar. Is that strictly correct when it comes to the Rohingya and their access to healthcare and education?
I would say the villages that we had visited, they were very, very remote, so there really wasn't a medical support as such within those villages. They were very remote, they were very difficult to get to. So I suppose in those areas, I would say there isn't any medical support that we're aware of. It's us Muslim Aid that are providing the level of support that they need, be it the basic hygiene kit, the medical assistance, or food in general. So this is what we have been focusing on, and we have been able to perhaps negotiate access to some of those areas to be able to assist those in need.
Well, we wait to see how this repatriation plan works. But for the moment, Zac, thank you very much indeed for speaking with us. Zac Hussain there.